What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. It's Friday, so you know what Friday means. It is the debt update that's being released into the market, where we got debt collection companies that have purchased debt. And well, these are debt buyers, and what they do is they sell it to debt collectors on the open market. And the first one that we're going to talk about here is let's see here. This is payday loans. Payday loan accounts 2.125 million dollars. Let's see here. They're selling it for less than a penny each. Charge off date is 2014. So in most areas, this would still be a valid debt to go after. Uh, let's see the next ones here. Here's the long list. Payday loans, just for one state, just a group of them. It's 18,000. I'm just gonna go with the big ones, not the little ones. We got mixed department store credit cards, 10 million. Mixed department store credit cards, 85 million. Mixed department store credit cards, 1.2 million. Mixed department store credit cards, 1,073,000. Mixed department store credit cards, 8.4 million. Department store credit cards, 7.8 million. Department store credit cards, 28 million. Department store credit cards, 8.9 million. Department store credit cards, 21 million. Payday loans, 2.1 million. Payday loans, 1.1 million. Online college, 115,000. I think that's a repeat from another one. They couldn't sell that one. Another mixed credit cards, 71 million. Mixed credit cards, 62 million. Mixed credit cards, 58 million. Mixed retail department store cards, 4.5 million. 20.7 million. Mixed credit card, department store credit card. Mixed department store credit cards, 5.3 million. This is a department store credit card mix, 55 million. Department store credit card mix, 11 million. And another one a little under $900,000. And what has been that's what's been going on with that, with those department store cards. People go in, they ask you to apply for one. Department stores, they know that if they could get you approved, number one, if you're approved, you're going to be paying more for that item than you would have paid off the shelf. This is their new business model. And for every group of people that will pay and pay the small monthly payments, you have another group of people that will go into default, which is these groups. But they know that using that model, that they make millions of dollars. So if they had 5 million that went bad, they probably had 15 million that went good. They don't do that for no reason. They know that it's very lucrative, and that even if a card goes into default, that most of the time people are going to pay a certain period of time and then they go into default. They don't usually go straight into default. They usually want to use the card. Hey, I got my credit card and I could use it over here at this department store, or this department store's credit card. I think I had saw something with the average person, with counting department store credit cards and regular credit cards. They have 5 to 13 credit cards, and some people upward to 20 to 30, and they're sitting there balancing all of those payments on a month-to-month basis. With these debts, the last group that I talked about, only one, which I didn't even mention. No, I take that back. Only one group of them, of the ones that I mentioned, which was the payday loan group, was a 2014 group, which was 2.1. Actually, that was part of this one here, so that was a repeat when I said the 2.1 million, and that was a payday loan group. That's the 2014. All of the rest of these were 2011 and older. 2011 and older, which makes these past the statute of limitations in just about every state, unless they got a judgment, which I doubt that they got a judgment, because they wouldn't be able to be selling it on the open market like this. So be aware that when you get a letter from one of these debt collectors, it will look like a bill, but it's actually asking you if you is this your debt, and you have a right to dispute it. When you get one of these debts, and you need to look up the origination date of that debt, and you need to look up when that debt went into collections, or when it was a charge off, because from that period of time is when the clock starts ticking on if it's going to be past statute of limitations. And then you need to look at your particular state to see what the statute of limitations is for contract law. One of the tricks that I've seen debt collectors do is that they will call, when you call them, or or if they call you and you answer the phone, they will have a recorded message that will actually tell you that you do not have to legally pay the debt, that they are going after this debt on a moral ground basis. You may not believe that that is true, but that is, I've heard it myself with a client, and the debt collector actually said it when we called in. We were like, this person, you don't have to pay this debt. They're telling you that it's past statute of limitations. They're telling you that if you decide to pay this debt or pay anything on this debt, number one, you're restarting the clock, and number two, you're doing it because you feel that you have a moral obligation to pay the debt. So listen to the recordings. The recordings at the beginning, when you call a debt collector, it'll say that, this is an attempt to collect the debt, blah, blah, blah. But when you get to the actual debt collector, they're going to repeat it. And you need to listen for what they're going to say, because that's when they'll say it. All of them say it a different way, but they're basically saying that the debt is past statute of limitations. And if you choose to pay this debt, that it is because you're moral. Like, they'll use different words, but they're basically saying that you feel that you morally had to pay the debt. So when you get that, you need to validate the debt, and the first thing that you need to do is look at if it's past statute of limitations. Get your credit reports. If you don't have your credit reports, there's a link below this video. Go get them. It's well worth it, so you can see that original charge off date. And then from there, you need to go and see what the statute of limitations is for your particular state. And then if it's past statute of limitations, you don't need to argue about the debt itself, no amount, how you're going to pay, blah, blah, blah. All of that is out the window. You just need to simply prepare a letter and send it to them and say this debt is past statute of limitations, and you want them to cease, according to your state. I'll back up. According to the state that you live in, you write that this debt, to the laws of the state that you live in, this debt is past statute of limitations for contract debt. And you're notifying them of that fact, and that you want them to cease and desist collection of this debt. And that if they don't, you will consider it harassment, and you'll report them to the proper authorities. 100% debt they'll stop. They're going to leave you alone. They're going to move on to the next person. They're going to move on to the next person. So make sure that you do that. Now, I want to go into some things that I've seen. I saw a video online the other day. It was advertised, I believe, on Facebook, and it had a guy he was talking at an event. I don't know if the event was true, if it was just a setup of a stage and the guy was just talking. I don't know. They never showed the crowd, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that he was spewing out information that was false and fake, and a bunch of BS. He was saying that a debt collection company has no right to come after you for a debt. He's saying that a debt collection company can't take you to court and sue you over a debt. He was saying that once a company charges off a debt, they have no right to come after you for the money. These are all false. These are all false. They're lies. They're setting good people like yourself up for failure. You don't need to listen to these people because what they're doing is they're just trying to grab people's money, and they're going to put them in a bad situation. I have a lawsuit here. Well, I have a summons for a customer of ours, and this is proof that a debt collection company can come after you for a debt. It doesn't make your rights go away. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to pay the debt. It doesn't mean that they were correct in going after you for the debt. But that individual that was making the video said that they have no right to do what they're doing. So we have a legal system in the United States, and people are submitting. Are we to believe that this lawyer, who is bound by the legal system in the state of Ohio, is just going into court and lying to the judge and submitting a summons for an individual that owes a debt, that this is 100% illegal? That it's 100% illegal. That's what I'm saying. These people that are making these videos, that are putting people out there and hyping them up and saying that you never have to pay a collection. What I always say is just look at the legal, all of the people that legally had to pay collections. And I know people might try to say you're some debt collector and, you're an ex-debt collector and all of this stuff. And no, I'm not an ex-debt collector. What I'm telling you is the truth. The truth is that you have rights, and you have rights to challenge any debt. You have rights to look for any loopholes to get out of paying a debt that has been sold to a debt collector. And that includes statute of limitation. That includes documentation that they maybe not be able to prove, because they have to prove if they buy debt from an original creditor, they must maintain all the proof, your signatures, your charges that you made, if it's a credit card or the original loan documents, all of that stuff. They can't just come into court and say that you owe a debt. But what happens is a lot of people don't show up to these court hearings, and then all of a sudden they have a default judgment, and now they have a legal document signed by a judge saying that you do have to pay the debt. And even if that happens, you still have a certain amount of months legally to ask the judge to reopen so you can come into court and state your case. But this stuff is not fake. Debt collectors can get your butt in the court and can prove a case and make you have to pay the debt. And I guess that's what's the difference between my company, is that if there's a debt that potentially is going to have to be paid, we get our customer focused on a solution of a settlement. And for some debts, that will be the ultimate solution. You have people that are just hurting people out there saying that you don't have to pay debt collectors. You don't have to do this for debt collectors. They can't take you to court. None of these people have ever dealt with anyone in court. None of these people have ever went to court. And I bet you they got a whole stack of default judgments piled up against them. And then they're just trying to go out there and rant on YouTube or Facebook and all these different places to either take people's money or to just sit there and rant, and they're not talking about solutions. I can guarantee you this: if you follow what I tell you in my videos, and you can look on my YouTube channel, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and then go combing through the videos. I'm very consistent on what I tell people to do. If you didn't get what I was saying on this video, sometimes it takes repetition. Start the video over, go through it again, go through it again. I guarantee you'll hear something different that I said, because each time when I talk, your mind probably wanders off and thinks about your situation. So you might have to watch the video over and over again. But I've remained consistent with everything that I tell people to do, and that there are debt collections that people will eventually have to pay, guaranteed. And if they take responsibility and pay them, I'm not saying pay them in full, I'm talking about you pay a settlement. They're always willing to settle on these accounts. Your life will be able to move forward a lot faster than having things hanging over your head. So I thank you for your time. And this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of CreditRepairShop.com. Please subscribe to my page, share it with friends and family, tell people about it, because I think that information I'm going to be sharing with you will allow you to be able to move forward in life. Oh, before I forget, I know I'm supposed to talk about money-making opportunities, about bids, because we can't just always just talk about getting out of debt, because some of the ways that you have, things that you have to do to be able to get out of debt, is you have to be able to bring in more income. And I know that there's a lot of YouTube videos out there about how to make money doing this and that. And I own several businesses. I own a marketing company, online company, not selling products. I sell service online. And I can tell you that you could be successful in whatever you put your mind to. What the thing that I had to learn, and I learned it the hard way, but now I understand it and I do things the easy way. And when I say the easy way, I'm not talking about business is easy. What I'm talking about is my thought process is easy. I don't do things that I don't want to do, period. If I want to do something, then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to not have any excuses on doing it. Just like making these videos, I get in early and make these videos for you. I have a person coming at 9 o'clock that wants to sell me on something, and I told him I don't want to do that opportunity, but I will sit down with you and go over ways that you could be successful with it. And the business that he's doing is he buys used cars at the auction, and he has that GPS and some type of a shut-off system on the vehicles, and then he sells them to people. They put a down payment, and then they pay him weekly payments. And what he wants to do is he wants to get investors to help pay for more cars, so he can get more cars out there on the streets, and the investor in return gets income on a monthly basis. And he wants me to help him put packages together to sell, to get interest from investors to invest in the program. And I was just going to run down all of the things that investors would look for. But people come to me with a lot of investment opportunities, and basically my wife and I, we know what we want to do. And there's certain ones that might come to me, and then I'll say, yeah, I want to do it. And then I look at what capacity I would have to do it in. But it's rare that I get into other investments. But if I do, it's going to be something that I want to do. And that was when I was younger. I used to really kind of dive into a lot of stuff. So moving forward for yourself, I think what you should probably start thinking about, if you're thinking about ways that you want to make more money, is first you have to get your mind right. You have to get your mind right on a mental level of understanding that you are just as good as anybody. And then you have to understand that you don't know what you don't know. So that means that you're going to have to get with someone that understands what you want to do. And then that goes into, you need to pick something that you want to do, because if you pick something you want to do, you're going to stick through it and keep doing it, even when you're not making money, even when times get tough, even when you're just frustrated. You'll keep doing the thing that you want to do. So that's very important. No matter how much money you got, even if you have money to invest in something, if it's something that you don't want to do, it's going to collapse and you're going to lose all your money doing it, because it's not really something that you wanted to do. The businesses that I have now, I really want to do them. It's not just about the money. It's like I get something internally out of doing those businesses. And then if I don't feel that I get anything internally out of doing those businesses anymore, then I'll sell those businesses or I'll close them down if I have to. So please leave your comments below. If you need help on something, just reach out. I'll give you a solution on the way that we would attack something in this office when it comes to debt collection or credit repair. And I really thank you for your time. And until the next video, this is Stephen William, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. Thank you.